Welcome to 2Nerds and an Actor. What?
Shaking my. Cause you wanna. Why are you Christopher Walken in the intro?
Yeah, we gotta do that.
And don't say jet lag. Y'all in the same time zone. Fuck out of here.
We're doing a special recording of 2Nerds, and we're all three in different places.
France used. First of all, you use the whole government. France used his pen name, and I just used, Mike. What the fuck? There was no protocol for this.
No, we're only gonna give audio anyway, because I look like I'm some type of hacker right now in the dark. Like,
I'm in.
yeah, exactly, doing like dark web stuff.
I'm in.
I'm like, anyway,
I
okay.
see your eyes are screens.
I know, it's really creepy. You look like a bug. I don't know why I'm still wearing a hat. Anyway, okay. Point is, welcome to Nerds and an Actor. I got my nerdalators. It's like gladiators. You get it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mike Santana.
I'm Turbo.
And Frantz Jerome.
Come on,
I'm-
say it. Say it.
I'm laser.
Really? Not even Nitro? All right. Yo, Nitro never lost. Anyway.
Okay. So we're here because.
Wait, did you get that reference?
Which one? Turbo?
Yeah.
Like from Wreck-It Ralph?
No. From American Gladiators.
Oh! I get it now.
Basically, that's the team you needed to beat Thanos.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're doing we have to do this special episode because we just experienced Infinity War. And that's like a legit.
Just now.
I mean, it's been like, it's literally been 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. A day.
So we'll just go around initial thoughts first. Because I feel like I told this to my sister and my mom. I was like, when people watch Avatar, the one with the blue people, Pandora, they had this thing that was called Avatar depression, where people were like so sad that it wasn't real. No, this is real, like legit.
Oh,
yeah, they were like,
yeah,
oh, I
yeah.
wish Pandora was real. I want to live there.
It
Blah
looks
blah
so
blah.
beautiful.
And they went into a state of depression, and I feel like that's where I'm at.
Did that happen to people in North America or the rest of the world?
I'm sure that just happened in North America. Can you imagine in like India? Yeah, right.
No, I can't.
I'm good.
But okay, that's how I feel. I'm in a state of depression, even though. Oh, spoiler, by the way. If you haven't seen the movie,
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
don't you dare
Just
listen
call
to
this shit Infinite Spoiler because it was Spoiler Wars.
Yeah, spoiler.
Because this shit. Well, you're depressed.
I am.
I'm at the other end where I'm like, I'm about to light a cigarette up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was expecting to be hurt, and they gave it to me. They gave me more than I thought they would. Because I've been talking about, oh, kill Cap, bring him back later. They were like, nah, we're not going to kill Cap.
I know. I thought they were going to kill him.
Everybody else, though.
Everybody.
And Resco is alive. Like, they gave me so much.
What?
What?
I was just reacting.
It says your bandwidth is low, France. Now it doesn't say that.
It is.
They're in the same location, though.
Yeah, I don't get it. Maybe I'm taking all the bandwidth.
I'm on the Milano. Aisha, where you at? Wakanda?
I guess so. I got the vibranium.
Basement. Frantz, where you at?
I'm with the dwarves.
Yeah.
I'm with grown ass Tyrion.
Tyrion with the metal hands.
Yeah, how did he do anything?
I don't know. Like they should have played rock paper scissors with him. They won every time.
Like I choose
Would've won.
paper. I choose paper. Paper.
Paper boy.
Paper boy.
This movie though, I could see if it has you more depressed than Paper Boys right now in the show. I'm just
We
saying.
haven't watched it yet, so we don't know what
I mean,
lands.
he's generally been depressed the entire season though,
That is true.
so no spoilers.
Word.
Yeah, man, I'm just happy they teased Thanos with at the end of Avengers and did not disappoint. He showed up, he deboed the universe, and that's what he's supposed to fucking do. But the fact that they left us with the old Avengers and kind of whoosh vanished the new crew,
I know.
that was I don't know anybody that predicted that. You know what I'm saying? Not on that level. So I was pleasantly surprised, but they still gave me in general what I wanted. I wanted consequence. I wanted like all this sunshine. Even though I know they'll probably come back, like the majority of the people that whoosh faded away will come back. I still think there's some. We can talk about it later. I still think there's some permanent repercussions besides the people that got dusted.
Like they're not coming back.
Yeah, like I think Loki's done.
I think Loki's dead.
I'm okay with him dying the way he did too, because my man's been cheating death and faking death man long.
So many times.
Yeah, and then he tried all his usual tricks against Thanos, and they all look feeble.
They look so dumb. So dumb.
Right? They look. It's like you trying to take out Thanos with a knife.
With a knife.
The man had 2 stones. He's wilding.
Right.
Exactly.
While he's wielding 2 stones, while your brother, who you can't touch, was getting bullied. Like you just saw what happened to the Hulk.
Yeah, yo, he beat the Hulk, and you were like, "Hold on, let me put this dagger behind my back. He's not gonna catch this."
Whole ass, beat his whole ass. So it's like, and for fun, according to fucking what's his name, Ebony Maw. So yeah, like I'm okay with him being dead. Gamora, if she's gone, it's probably because of Avatar. I don't know. Vision. I mean, if Vision comes back, he comes back. But if he doesn't, I'm like, okay, we don't need a robot.
Word.
I need a robot.
I know you love him, but to be honest, he's probably gonna turn into Ultron anyway. So.
What? No.
Yeah, I thought that might be another situation that they're back, like Avengers 4 type stuff. Come back as Ultron.
Yeah, I don't know, but what's wait? That's my general thing. It was yours, Frantz.
All right, they teased Thanos like 8 times, so I was like, he better be the truth. He changed skin tone twice. So what's up, little cosmic vitiligo, and
space so
they delivered. Facts. I was like, and he showed up. They gave us Thanos. They gave us Thanos. He was present. He came through. He smashed everything. He did it with a smile. Very pleasant service. They did something really new that we haven't seen, which is they gave a villain an RPG. Like we watching, he was looking like Mega Man. He was coming through, collecting gear, leveling up on the spot, and then using that gear to wreck shop. They really, it was surprisingly emotional, even though I knew going in that there was going to be, murder, death, kill.
My man got the hero's journey, and he's the villain.
Exactly. I feel like they did that on purpose too, though.
It's like, great.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is like you don't even like hate Thanos. You're not watching like, oh, this motherfucker. No, I mean, like in a sense where like, you know how much I hate Cersei. I fucking hate Cersei. But
wait till Mima sees this movie and you see how much a person can hate a character.
No, that is real though. I mean,
She is going to fucking hate Thanos.
I hated him, but at the same time, I knew he was gonna win, and I think that's why I was like
Mhm.
reserved my hate. I was like, "What's the point of hating you? I know you're gonna kill all my friends. I know I'm gonna be
Yeah.
mad. I know I'm gonna be
Yeah.
sad at the end of this. I can't be mad at you because like one, you made a goal and you're achieving that by all means
You
necessary.
goal oriented, and I
Yeah,
respect it.
yeah,
You had a murder checklist, and doggone
legit.
it, you followed through.
But like, I want to talk about some of the cool things that I loved about the movie. One, I'm in love with all the fight scenes. I think they paid really good attention to detail, even though like mostly CGI or whatever. It was like every move. It was almost like watching Black Panther. When you saw those fight scenes in Black Panther with like Okoye, you were like, oh shit. I really feel like they
Yeah, the
brought that in.
Okoye stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a problem with. I still don't feel like they've done T'Challa justice in terms of his battle prowess.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
I still feel like they haven't showed what he's supposed like the problem he's supposed to be.
I
But
don't think
anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. The
I don't
fights,
think they can. I don't think they can. Like specifically to the fight scene stuff.
why not?
I feel like people are comparing T'Challa like too much to Batman
No,
in his like
I'm
in the way he looks.
comparing.
No, not you. I'm saying like people mix them up all the time, and essentially T'Challa is a much more well put together, far less damaged Bruce Wayne, and he's just as unfuckwittable as Bruce Wayne is. Like when Bruce Wayne gets in a fight, we know off top he
Right,
gonna win. We just waiting to see
right,
how. People don't know that that's T'Challa's whole steezo from birth.
right. But it's that mixed with just me thinking about how he was portrayed in Civil War. Like in
Mhm.
Civil War, I felt like
Mm,
his fights were much like he was doing Batman shit in Civil War.
Yeah,
Like
I feel
he
like
had Bucky on his whole ass. He was completely dismissive of Black Widow. Cap needed
right.
help. You know, like I feel like in Black Panther, that movie, I mentioned it before. Like the fight scenes were cool because you felt it, but none of the fights seemed as cool as Civil War. Now I'm looking at Infinity War, and I see that Cap, a couple of zoom ins of Cap taking on 3, 4 motherfuckers, light,
hmm
him putting the work to Thanos in the face. T'Challa still didn't have like moments like that. Like Okoye's outshining him OD, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, but he
I
the
feel like
headliner, so give
they
him
relied on
some.
the like
You know?
the equipment, you know? Like his suit was the
Mm.
coolest thing, and then like watching that take in the hits and then, bust them out and like that was like the most exciting thing I feel like.
We
It wasn't
need Black Panther returns already. We need
Yeah.
like old man Panther, old man T'Challa. We need it already.
Oh my god.
well,
Yeah, fight scenes were cool.
no, you're gonna say fight scenes?
I was just saying fight scenes. No, fight scenes were cool. The CG. There's so much CGI sometimes that it was kind of like it was difficult because we couldn't get those real good like when we see Black Widow and Hawkeye fight, and it's really about the technical. Like I was in a big fight, and it was
Right,
too big for them to focus in on those things, and
right,
I missed those things.
right. I agree. I
Well, I
agree
guess
with
that's
that.
true. But I just had a good
The
time.
scale's too fucking big.
But at the same time, all the little things they did, like my favorite was like with Spider-Man when he was on the ship and he was about to like run out of air and he's like, "Oh, let go, I'll catch you." And you thinking he's gonna like hold out an arm and catch him, and then the freaking suit comes and just engulfs him. Then there he's got caught you
Yeah,
with a brand new fucking suit. What? That was crazy. And I was
yeah,
kind of like, oh, he already knows how to use this suit too. The freaking spider legs came out.
yeah. He said it's really intuitive, so it's really useful. Yeah, some shit like that. Like this movie too had like a lot of moments like you're saying, Aisha, but it has so many. Like I was it Ragnarok that said felt I don't remember which Marvel movie it was that said it felt most like a comic book type of movie.
It was
But
Ragnarok.
okay, so that one felt very comic booky, but in the good ways. This one also had that, but on the action side. not the comedic
Mm.
interactions,
Mm-hmm.
but they definitely nailed like a lot of the action shit for me.
But I feel like it made it even more sad. Like watching them interact with each other, people who never interacted before, it made it even more sad to watch them fucking turn into
Hmm.
dust.
Hmm.
I was like, but you just met.
I thought you just made dust.
Dust.
Um, you know, the two characters in the action scenes that really showed out for me were like Doctor Strange.
Mm.
Like it's been a couple years since Steven started putting in the work. He was Sorcerer fucking supreme in this
Yeah,
movie.
what?
Word.
Like, and
Level
I
up.
like that. Like he should be that. You know. I wish there was more time for him and Iron Man to interact because everything he's doing is shit
Mm-hmm.
that Tony can't wrap his head around but wants to,
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
know. But there wasn't enough of that for me.
Like he would
Um,
use his tech, he would use his magic in his tech somehow. Like, how can I harness this?
right, or he would at least be curious about it, or say that it's a trick or whatever.
I mean, at the same time, they didn't have time for that. I felt
Right,
like
right. There was no time. There was
there's
no
no
time.
time. I kind of liked that. That it was like usually in these movies, like Marvel things, it's like, oh, some shit is going down. Like, sure, it happens fast, and people have to like
Hmm.
run to take care of it. But this one, it was like we're just learning about it. It's happening. It's like,
Right.
oh, what's his
Yeah.
name? Boom,
It
ship,
was.
you're
Yeah.
done.
It was like everything was a step up towards the end of the snap. But everything was rising up to that moment, which I like. The other character that I thought was cool in the fight scenes, who was like kind of going up against Strange for the most part, and I'm kind of sad we didn't see more of him, was Ebony Maw, and like the way that they portrayed his use of telekinesis, like I thought that was really cool, and
Yeah.
all I could think about was like Jean Grey or Magneto,
Yeah.
and how the X-Men movies tried to demonstrate their abilities to manipulate objects, and how
Mm,
sometimes it looked cool, sometimes it didn't.
right.
Everything he did in this movie looked really cool, and all I could think about is like, damn, I cannot wait for them to show the X-Men
Right.
in combat, in tandem, doing cool shit like this one dude is doing.
Because he did
Um,
it so effortlessly.
yeah,
Effortlessly. I feel like
yeah,
an X-Men, you can always see them like, ooh, I'm thinking real hard or something.
yeah.
He was like, whoop, with a
Yep,
finger.
finger flick. Yeah, and Doctor Strange was trying to match him beat for beat. You know, he was throwing up
Hmm.
the gang signs and shit like that to try to keep up. Well, yeah, but which I just thought that fight was cool, and all I could think about was, damn, I can't wait for the X Men. Damn, I can't wait for the X Men because they did such a good job with the Black Order that I'm like, imagine what they could do when they finally get their hands on the X Men.
Hmm.
So
um, just a little nerd tidbit. Film school flow. Put on a different hat. Cinematography is a big deal when it comes to display of powers. Every time they did a shot of Ebony Maw, it was from the lower right or lower left. It was always beneath, so that you could see the tiny movement he would make,
mm,
and then see something big in the back move.
yeah,
So
the subtle. Hmm.
it's like a subtle movement of his up close, but in the foreground, in the foreground, a little finger movement, and then in the background, it was just like
A car
a,
getting sliced in
a car
half.
getting sliced or like a whole half a building moving around. It
Yeah,
was crazy.
yeah. I thought it was really, really
Agreed.
cool.
So let's talk about, before I get into some sad stuff, what was really exciting about the groupings? Because I feel like we didn't know who was going to meet up with who, and I kind of felt it was a little like Lord of the Rings, where it was like, oh, Samwise is breaking off with Frodo, and then
Hmm.
um, all these other
Hmm.
people are going to this other place to stop this, and it's like everyone had their
Hmm.
little part, even though they
Yeah,
didn't know each other's parts. But like, I don't know, what you
yeah.
guys think about the pairings?
Let's see. For me, the Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Tony, because Tony's there, but Tony's the intermediary because it's Tony and Strange, Tony and Peter. In the rare moments between Peter and Strange, because they've had their powers almost like the same amount of time. It looks like
Mm, mm,
and one is Sorcerer Supreme, and one is local neighborhood Spider-Man.
yeah,
So hearing them talk and hearing, you could see Peter's youth cut through uh Strange's tension, his
yeah,
natural condescension. It was
right.
like, and then Tony egomania. It was like it was fun as hell, and
Hell
you
yeah,
never knew what was gonna happen.
yeah,
Though Star-Lord and that shit toward the end, you're like, what is happening?
yeah. Well, my go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You do.
My favorite interactions. I love the Thor interactions with any of the Guardians. Um, and I thought that
Rabbit.
worked. Yeah, right. I thought and he spoke Groot's language. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, and he had a whole thing. Like he knew everything
Yeah.
about him.
Because
Um.
he's a prince.
Yeah. He said it was part of the education, right? Some shit.
Hmm.
Um. But I thought that worked really well because of how Ragnarok not tried, but very much matched the tone of what the Guardians comedically the hits
Hmm.
or beats rather have been. Sorry. So I thought that matched up really well. So those are probably my favorite interactions. Um, other than that, just Thanos' interactions with everybody. Like his lines were all so well
Mm.
delivered. They was highly quotable. Like every moment Thanos was on screen, no lie, I was angry at Fox because I'm like, I was like, y'all couldn't fucking do Apocalypse justice,
I know.
and he's
Hmm.
supposed to be talk about one liners or these lines that have gravitas and all this shit, this self righteous, journey that a villain's supposed to feel like they're on. Thanos, they nailed it with Thanos. They nailed
Yeah,
it. So him interacting with everybody, with Thor, with all his smirks, with Tony, everything.
I agree. Like
It was good.
Hell yeah.
my
Him and
favorite
everybody.
one was, I think my favorite one was probably Tony and the Guardians, just because you get to see like one, how controlling all of them really are in their own retrospective things.
Yeah,
Because it was like Tony's like, all right, here's the plan. This is what we're gonna do. Da da da. And then like he didn't for once think like, wait, who's in charge here?
right. He
He
just
was like,
assumed
let's
he
talk.
was.
Yeah, he's like, I'll do it. And then Star Lord just being like, actually everyone listen to me, and then no one's listening.
Mhm.
But I just really like that interaction. It was just seeing everyone's little personalities that have grown over the 10 years
Yeah.
coming together is like, it was wild to me, but it also made it even more sad. But I actually want to talk about Doctor Strange because so he went through his head in all these timelines, right? Like 4,
14,600,000 something.
and only one of them could work. So
Only one
so
didn't.
he has to know, like, do you think he took steps to make sure that that was the one that happened? Because he gave up the stone, like, he was like, oh, I'm gonna let you die. Like, understand, I'm gonna let you die before I give up this stone. And
See,
then he's about to die, and he's like, wait, here's the stone.
yeah, I think like I'm not sure if he saw every timeline through to the head.
Mm,
Probably only saw enough to, you know, like I doubt he's not Doctor Strange is not omniscient.
mm,
He's not infinitely powerful. But he probably just knew enough that this is the one timeline, the one way we win,
mm,
and maybe all he knew was that it requires that Tony live.
mm-hmm.
So whereas before he said, "I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's up to the time stone, you or the kid, I'm choosing time stone." He went against that, but I don't know if he even fully understands how like how they're
Mm,
gonna get to that point. Probably all he knew was that look, no matter what happens, I know I need to help Tony be alive. Tony has to be alive
right.
for us to win the war. We lost a battle, we lost mad battles, but we'll win.
Mad bad.
Bad,
Yeah,
bad.
so many battles, but we'll
But then
win.
they kind of lost the war.
Nah, but they
Nah,
did.
we in the end game now.
Yeah, they didn't lose the war because half the universe is out. We still got the OG Avengers,
Mm,
and they still there's got to be a way to undo. We got movies. We got movies to come out. We got
right.
Homecoming.
Yup.
That's the one Phase 4 movie that has a date. So they got to bring Peter back at least to make that fucking date.
That's why I feel like they're just gonna do all these movies before in those 2 year gap. They're just gonna do all the movies in that time because it's like Ant-Man literally would make no sense. Like, what do I care whatever mission you're going on when everyone's about to turn to dust?
Well, now I think it's clear though. They mentioned that he's on house arrest and
Mhm.
he cut a deal. So I'm pretty sure the Ant-Man movie takes place when in the trailer. I think in the Ant-Man thing they show when he gets the ankle bracelet. So
Mm.
it's probably gonna be right after Civil War, and whatever they end up doing in that movie, something might tie into how they could possibly have a chance of beating Thanos by the end of it.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I don't think it happens after this. After what we saw, all these half the fucking planet turning to dust, because it would be so like what the fuck? Like it's not
Ironically
gonna
enough,
laugh, huh?
ironically enough, if they did do that, it would force us as viewers to to watch them deal with it because the world didn't stop turning.
Right.
There's still going to be shit to do, people to stop. Like this is it's still possible. It'd be really macabre and really dark and kind of depressing, which
Yeah,
is the
that's what I
opposite
mean.
of Ant-Man's whole.
Right, exactly.
But it'd be you know what I mean a little contrarian. It'd be all right.
If it happens before the end of Infinity War, and then we know that Captain Marvel also happens before it, in the 90s, that'll make it so that when Avengers 4 drops, it's like they could pick up boom right from there. But at least now we have the background info we need to know from whatever Ant-Man discovers or does, who Captain Marvel is, who the Krees and the Skrull are, if they're gonna play any type of role in 4 or going forward, and then we could just pick up right where we left off with these motherfuckers in Wakanda wondering what the fuck just happened, you know?
That makes sense because I feel like they might do Ant-Man because it would be weird if they did Ant-Man right before or in the like if they mention he's on house arrest, that means the movie is happening and they're talking about him being on house arrest. So like why
Right.
wouldn't
So
he come out of house arrest to help them in this situation? That's weird. I mean, I guess it's the same for what's his name, the Arrow, what's his name? Hawkeye. Yeah, like why wouldn't he
Hawkeye.
come out of
Arrow guy.
yeah, Arrow guy.
You know, I would say that's probably the one thing that was missing from this type of story. Because, like, Aisha, you mentioned Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that's the one thing that was missing. And I thought that maybe Hawkeye would fulfill that role, where there's that one character that has their own thing, the mission, that like the solo thing they have to do. There was
Oh.
nobody like that in this. Everything was pairings, everything. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't. I was kind of hoping there'll be that one loner that has to do something,
I thought
by
that was Thor.
themselves. Nah, but he had Rocket and Groot.
I
You
guess
know,
so. Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't like a solo kind of thing, but
It
whatever.
just felt so entrenched in his story. Like
Yeah,
the only other story that was side. Anyway, yeah.
it was the most fleshed out. His and Thanos,
Word.
their stories were the most fleshed out in this.
Right.
Wakanda, not a lot happened there. Um, they weren't there for that long. The last third of the movie or last quarter of the movie is when they were there.
It's true.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's a great movie. I just fucking
before I jump into the next part I want to talk about, which is sad, um, this session is about to end. I don't know why it's about to end, but I started a new one, so
Oh, I see
it's
that.
just
Remaining meeting time.
yeah, I don't know why it says that. So I just started a new one. We just have to go into a new one. So we're gonna take a intermission break. Hold, I'll send you the thingy. I was like, what the heck is happening?
We're gonna edit so much of this in post, and by we I mean France.
Right. And we're back. See, we had to take a little break, because you get teary eyed when you think about Infinity War and you just have to, like, take a minute. But what I want to get into next is the deaths. Which are the ones that you knew were coming, and which are the ones that you were like, wow, what? Or like you knew they were coming and you were still like, what? Yeah. Someone else go first.
T'Challa. Though the way they did the camera, it looked like he was gonna reach for Okoye and she was gonna be gone.
That's what I
And I
thought
was like,
too.
oh, I'm not ready for that either. But then they pay him back, and he was like, this is not the place to die." And then
And then,
he died. I was
Die.
like, "That's fucked up." And then Mike was like, "You seen Okoye's face though? How many times she gotta watch her king die?" I was like, "Yo, you real, bro?" For that
That's cool.
one.
I think now in Wakandan, that's just the Okoye. Like you just
yeah,
when
when you
your
gotta watch
king
people keep dying.
when your king die in front of you repeatedly,
Again.
the ill Okoye
Again.
face. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah, I thought he was the number one untouchable character, T'Challa.
legit.
But then again, to be fair, they filmed this shit right after Black Panther. They did not know Black Panther was gonna make $1.3 billion. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
That's real.
they didn't know that. But it wasn't. The thing was, it was. We talked about earlier. The new motherfuckers all went, and the
Yeah.
old school people stood. So there's obviously gonna be a reason for that. Probably because we thought the passing of the torch was gonna happen in this movie.
Mm.
And obviously we were wrong. That's gonna happen in
They
the
passed it,
next
and then it was
movie.
like dust.
Yeah, it'll happen in the next movie. So
Avengers West Coast.
yeah, and then the name they did fucking. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. So oh man, I think mine has to be. I have like double. I have so many because one, like I was literally the only one that was like Spider-Man is gonna die, and people be like, oh, they wouldn't dare, they wouldn't
Yeah.
dare. I was like, nah, he's gonna die. One, because I really feel like they're trying to bring in the Miles Morales thing, so I was like, he's gonna die at some point, maybe after the second movie. But I was like, when
Mm-hmm.
I saw that trailer and he was down on the ground and Iron Man was crying, I was like, he dies. Like it looked like, oh, he's
Yeah,
wounded. I was
you
like, nah,
called
he's
it.
gonna die.
You called
But
it.
his death, that was like he was literally a kid. He was a child who was just like I
He
don't want
was
to
Spider
die.
Boy.
He literally, yeah, and he was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And I had a theory that his death was so slow because of his suit. I felt like his suit was deteriorating first, and then his body deteriorated because he had like a fancy ass suit on, and the only other person who had a suit was Iron Man, and he didn't deteriorate. He
Well,
didn't turn.
T'Challa's suit wasn't nothing to fucking
I
scoff
guess
at.
that's true.
And that's 2 years after we saw the last suit.
That's true.
So we know Shuri added some shit to this one.
Yo, and he went fast. He put an
Yeah.
arm out and it was like, boo, wind.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. Well, I mean, whatever. It was a ploy to make me cry even harder. But I mean, the other one was Loki. I was like, yo, he got mad millions and he died in the first 5 minutes.
He got killed. He got killed like a dog. And that's how he should have went out. Like he didn't deserve a hero's death. Fuck that. No.
That's true.
We
Like, how many
thought he
times is he
had
going to die?
that in Thor 2, he had a hero's death, but it was fake.
Right.
So that's it for him. You don't get another one. You don't get a real one.
I know. You get a trickster death where no one's playing games but you.
Exactly. And Thanos is not for that.
That was crazy though. You know what I do feel like they probably filmed that scene when they filmed Ragnarok because they were on the same ship, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
They're
know
gonna
when
wait months or year or whatever,
I
come
don't
back.
know when they filmed any of this shit. The way Thanos was talking, he said no more resurrections. Yo, Thanos knew mad shit.
He knew
Yes,
so
he did.
much.
He knew who Tony was.
Well, I mean, they reported back to him at the end of the first Avengers.
Who?
The Chitauri homies came up to him and was like,
They
"Yo,"
they
and they
bought
reported
Chinche.
to
They got more
him.
Chinche.
Yeah, see, they went
That's
right to
true.
him.
Yeah, because
They said
that's what
Tony
Loki was
Stark.
supposed to do, and he got caught.
Yeah, they said Tony Stark. There you go. They just went in there talking about Chinche.
My thing is, I think it's crazy how like he's been doing this right 10 years. He's been on
Yeah.
his plan for 10 years, and nobody knew who he was.
Wait, who?
Any of the Avengers, nobody knew who
No,
he
who
was.
who was?
Thanos. They didn't know who Thanos was.
Yeah, because they worked it in that weird fucking Thor spa thing in Avengers 2.
But
Where
that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's how Thor became enlightened. No,
right.
there was no
But
way
that
for
wasn't
them
even
to know
canon.
though. There was no way for them to know.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy how well thought out Thanos was that he was like, y'all ain't even gonna see me coming. You don't know
Nah,
who I am.
the closest thing we got was like when Scarlet Witch showed Tony the future,
Oh yeah.
or a possible future, and yeah, in Tony's head, he didn't know who Thanos was, but
Right.
he's been preparing for as best as he could the unknown.
That
Um,
makes that line make more sense now when he was like, say his name again. I was like, why he said that? But it's like it might be in his head already.
mhm. But see, that's another thing. Like I told my nephew Ray, shout out to Ray. I told him before the movie started, knowing that he hadn't read a lot of comic books about Thanos at all. I said, look, I said, and this is the first. Obviously, I was seeing Infinity War for the first time myself. But what I said to him was, I was like, no matter what you see on the screen, Thanos do, just know that he's nerfed based on what he does in the comics. His base form in the
You mean like
comics.
he's more in the comics than he is in the movie? Like he's more intense in the comics?
Okay,
Well,
so
the way
yeah,
nerf, yeah, like so nerfed is when a character is created and it's really powerful, OP, overpowered, and you take powers away to make him, to make the character more palatable in the world that they're in. I was like,
But you do that in the comics or you do that in the movies or you do it in
well,
both?
it happened. Mike is saying it happened in this movie with Thanos because
Oh.
we see him do shit in the comic books that you like. That's a movie by itself.
Mm-hmm.
The one,
yeah, like the term like nerf. When you say something's nerf or buff, like a nerf is when like literally, I'm gonna give you a steak knife, but I need you to childproof it. So what you do? You put a Nerf football over that shit, make it safer. So that's what they did to Thanos. Like in the comics, base form, no added anything, no infinity gemstones, nothing. He could teleport.
He could
He,
teleport?
mm-hmm. He could teleport. He could fly.
Wait,
He
so when he's
could.
going from planet to planet, that's not the Infinity Stone?
No,
Is
no,
that
no.
him?
In the movie, they made it so that he's using the space stone to do it.
Oh, okay, okay.
But what I'm saying is,
Mm-hmm.
base form Thanos in the comics from jump as
Right.
an Eternal, as a whatever the race he is, whatever. He can teleport. The distance, I don't know. Don't ask me that. But he can teleport. Um, he has like telepathy, like on the level of like, let's say, like Professor X. Professor X can't mind
Mm.
control Thanos. He can't. He's too fucking.
What?
He'll do. Remember in the Fox Five, like when he starts screaming. That's what the fuck would happen to him if he tried to get in Thanos' head. You know,
That
if
makes sense.
you, yeah, like Thanos, base form Thanos. If Ghost Rider went up to Thanos and tried to look in his eyes and give him the penance stare, which is Ghost Rider's most powerful attack, where he makes you feel all the pain you've inflicted on other people, he makes you feel
Oh
it.
yeah.
Thanos getting hit with that smiles. That's his ambient. That helps put him to sleep in one of the comic storylines that's going on right now. That's not a joke.
is
So
happening.
whereas that would kill anyone else, you know,
Right.
Thanos, that's how he goes. He goes, all right, thanks, and goes to sleep. So
Yo, so Mantis doing that whole thing that she did to him.
I was surprised that worked at all.
Yo, they almost had him. That glove was almost off.
They did almost have him, but Peter's never grown older than 10 years old.
Yeah, his girlfriend died. He was
He
like,
really he's
no.
still 10. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like, that's the other thing. Like when Gamora died, I was like, okay. I feel like they didn't build her up enough in the other movies as an important character. Like I knew she was important. Obviously, you're Thanos' daughter, or adopted daughter. Like obviously you're important, but they didn't pinpoint what type of importance. So I didn't really care about her throughout the movies.
Well, one of the only gripes I ever had with their first Guardians movie was how nerfed she was,
Yeah.
because she could take out a planet. She don't got to blow it up. She could just murk everybody on the planet with a
Yeah.
sword,
Yeah.
but hand to hand, just
Yeah.
everybody.
See, that would make
Business.
more sense that he loves her as like how tough of
How
a fighter she is,
He
and
meant
like
for her to take over, right? That's what it made it
right,
seem like. That she'll sit on the throne one day.
right.
Like I guess the next culling of the universe, he expected her to be able to do it because of her abilities. You're right, friends. They nerfed her too. They nerf a lot of these heroes for the movies, but um, getting back to your point, Aisha,
Mhm.
I think if we would have known that Gamora knew where the Soul Stone was
Mm.
earlier, then we would have felt like, oh, hopefully Thanos doesn't get her. She's
Right. We
important in
would have
that sense.
anticipated it.
Right, but they threw that whole thing out of nowhere where supposedly she had a conversation with Nebula and it was
Right.
recorded that Thanos found. So that was kind of a, I didn't mind it, but it's very much of a ass pull. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Word.
because
No, that's
in
true
that moment
because
Thanos was the FBI agent that's watching us right now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, when like she threw her over, I was like, oh, okay, she gets it. I would have guessed that. Okay. Even like Doctor Strange dying, I was like, oh yeah, I would have guessed that. But the way once they introduced the way they were gonna go, I thought people were gonna get killed. I thought he's gonna pull planets at them. I thought he's gonna like, I don't know, pull them apart, which I did think Mantis and what's his name were actually dead.
Drax.
Drax, when he like unraveled them, I was like, oh shit, that's how they go. And I was like, oh wait, no.
Yeah,
But then when they really went, I was like, you're gonna turn them to dust in front of my face? You're gonna hold them and it's just gonna be like poof, you know? Bucky's gonna be like Steve and then blow away in the wind? How dare you?
yeah, yeah. Like in that sense, that it was a huge improvement because in the comics, when Thanos snaps, you don't see anybody disappear. They just disappear. And
Mm,
there's a like some type of thought bubble or some shit that they put on the pages when the heroes that are fighting him are like it, they feel
right,
the loss, but we don't see. There's no seeing it. It's just everything vanishes. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Whereas I thought that cinematically and storytelling wise, and to get those gasps that we were hearing and we were
Mhm.
ourselves giving
Everybody in the theater.
there was so many gasps at the first a quarter of this film and in the last quarter of this film that was
Mhm.
great. Um, but yeah, like they were showing the dust and the
The
slow and
dust. When he was like, "Oh, you should have gone for the head," snap, right? He snapped. I thought it was gonna be like,
that was so
because
fucking gangster.
I was like, "What did he just do?" And then it went to white. I was like, "What just happened?" Like for anyone who doesn't like read the comics as closely, or like
Yeah,
someone's just following the movies in their team, you're like, "What
right.
just happened?" Like, and then they've been saying it the whole time. You should have known. Like he's, "Oh, you can do it with a snap." They kept saying it over. We can
Yeah,
do it with a snap, and I was like,
they
"Oh, they're
kept
just
saying
trying
it.
to show how easy it could
Yeah,
be." But they were like, "No, literally, I'm gonna snap my fingers, and then all
I
your
t-
friends are gonna be gone."
I tell you what though, like when Thor stabbed him, in no way did I think Thanos was dead. But the last thing in my mind was that's where Thanos was going to snap.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna get retaliation on Thor, and again at that point, I was like, maybe he gonna kill Thor, like contracts up, motherfucker, or some shit.
That's why I thought Thor was gonna die and
Yeah,
Captain America.
yeah.
What's
But
going on?
he that's the moment where he fucking laughs off the chest, the
Right.
piercing of his chest
The
with the
forged from a dying star or
yeah,
whatever.
this mythological fucking weapon in his chest, and that's when he chooses to be a
He's like,
badass.
good hit. See you later.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I'm out. That shit was
That was
hilarious.
crazy.
Like
Okay,
Thanos
so
is a sick motherfucker, man.
legit. So before we kind of close out, I want to talk about what do you think is going to happen? Because I can't. This is the first time in any Marvel movie where we're not looking forward to something. I know there's gonna be another movie. Like we all know there's gonna be another movie. I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, like when like Iron Man 2 ends, you're like, oh, there's gonna be another Iron Man 3. You know, when this movie ends, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see what they do with this. This is like, yo, half of these people are gone. I don't know what is happening next.
Mm.
So one, how are they gonna bring them back? Because I need my peoples back. And two, what do you really think Miss Marvel's gonna do for us? Let's start with number one. What do you think how are they gonna bring my people back? I'm just gonna say they're gonna bring them back, but I think they're gonna go back in time. But y'all are saying that's impossible. But
What the fuck you mean, y'all? I didn't say shit. Like what?
Frantz is like, there's too much of a cost. He said the soul gem will do something in like Cap and Iron Man are gonna have to die so everyone else can come back.
Frantz said that or I said that?
I said that.
I love how she's misquoting us to misquote herself. Frantz, go ahead. Answer those questions, man. They're easy.
All right,
I'm lying.
one. I was like lying. One. They already hit us with the cocoon in Guardians 2, so we know Adam Warlock is in the picture somehow. In the comics, he is the thing that's supposed to reset. He's supposed to be the one that resets everything. But they have done a really good job of leading us one way and sending us the other way, even with the trailers. Bastards. I was like, so what I see happening is uh, they're gonna leave us. They're gonna leave us wanting. They're gonna go through all of these movies leading up to what the new Avengers roster is gonna look like. With Ant Man, Hawkeye coming back, probably as Ronin, is what I've been hearing. Uh, and it's gonna cap itself off with Captain Marvel in space because time will be moving differently. And if she gets that beep, she's gonna look at her Motorola, her alphanumeric Motorola.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, "Oh shit, I gotta go back," and she's gonna fly back here. And somehow between the beginning of that movie and the end of that movie, we get a time skip, and she's gonna be badass when she gets back.
So
And
wait, are
that's
you
gonna
saying that she's gonna come back like because she's in space, her time is different. She's gonna come back before he snaps his finger and do something? You saying?
nah. She's gonna come back in the wake of it all. She's gonna come back and be an instrument. She's gonna be the new the shit we used to want from the Hulk. Last minute come through and slay everything. She's going to fulfill that role.
So you're saying I'm not getting my friends back?
You won't get them back in until the middle of probably of Infinity War Part 2,
As long as I get my friends back.
which is separate from Avengers 4.
What?
No, it's not.
It is Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
No, but they changed it. They took the part 1 out because they just made it Infinity War, and then Avengers 4 is Avengers 4 Untitled.
Oh, that freaks my whole theory out because I'm thinking there's a whole nother stop gap that they wanted to put in there.
That's what it sounded like you were saying. I was like, oh,
the next one is Avengers 4. You know, like that's Avengers 4.
Oh,
so
in
this
that
is
case,
Avengers 3 technically?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So then that goes back to the original thing, which is they're really going to flex the Adam Warlock and Captain Marvel things, and it means Captain Marvel is going to be what opens up.
Well,
Avengers 4 is going to open up with Captain Marvel's return, and will the end with Adam Warlock. And between those two events, everybody comes back.
well, I mean, I don't see Adam like they with the titles and with the way that they view certain characters completely different than we know them. I don't think Adam Warlock is gonna play a role in if Avengers 4 simply because yes, in the comics he's tied to the Soul Stone. He's tied to the lore of the stones. But in the MCU, he's tied to that race of people and they're making him to get vengeance on the Guardians. That's why he exists in the MCU.
Nah, he's gonna get
And
we're
what I'm
gonna
saying, wait,
find
let
out.
me finish.
Oh,
But like if that's the reason why they're making him is to get revenge on the Guardians for insulting their race, then the Guardians are gone except for Rocket. So what the fuck was he gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I think that's gonna be a volume 3. I think that's gonna be a Guardians volume 3 type storyline that they'll continue. I don't see Adam Warlock playing into Avengers 4 because like I said, he has no tie to the Soul Stone at all. if anything, Red Skull they had explained what the Soul Stone was. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't that won't make sense to me.
But so how is the warlock guy even supposed to help? Is he going to turn back time? Or is he just going to be like, he snaps his fingers and he resets whatever
He ain't
Thanos
snapping.
did?
He ain't snapping. No, I mean,
I mean,
like for instance, in the comics, he has the Soul Stone. He's like the one that understands it the most, and he's able to. He's a Deus Ex Machina character when it came to countering Thanos' omnipotence. You know, like because he understood the gauntlet and everything more than Thanos did.
But the gauntlet at the end looked like
actually,
it was
no,
beat up.
that's not entirely true. When Adam Warlock first appears, he doesn't have the Soul Stone.
No, but he
He
knows how to
just
like use it the best.
because he goes from his. What's going to happen is I'm gonna put it out there. What's going to happen is that race of golden people is going to be gone, or at least mostly gone after this finger snap.
Half.
And, right, he's not gonna, and he was created by beings who think themselves as perfect to be the perfect being. And in his quest to comprehend perfection is when he learns about the world and then comprehends the gauntlet and what the stones can do. So I still think he's going to play a role because there won't be a
Okay.
planet. There won't be a planet of folks to be revenging against anything other than Thanos. Uh,
I
but
mean,
but what you say has a
maybe
lot of
or maybe I don't know. That's what I like. That we had all these expectations. I told everybody at the job today. Shout out to my coworkers. Fuck out here.
Oh, snap.
Nah, but I was saying like everybody was asking me about the movie. What I told them was the more expectations you have for this, the better, because
Legit, that's so true.
it really fucked with all of mine. Well,
facts.
not the gist of where I wanted them to go, but how they got there. They really
Yeah.
fucked with. So I was like, that was great. But yeah, like what I like about this movie is I don't fucking know. They could go anywhere with it. Doctor Strange saw 14 million plus different things. So multiverse on deck and check. You know what I'm saying? Like that they've introduced the possibilities are so wide open right now. So how are the heroes coming back? I think anybody that died before snaps, before the dust shit is probably gonna stay dead because we saw their body, and I'm sorry,
Right.
but that includes Vision. Anybody
Oh,
that did get dusted, like I pointed out before, were the new, still under contract motherfuckers, for the most part. And the ones still alive are the old school ones. So the old school ones are gonna probably have to figure out this one last thing,
mm.
Wait, I just had a
and
brain
that'll pass
blast.
the torch, huh?
Just had a brain blast. And Aisha, I think they're gonna that means the next movie will open up in the Soul Stone, and we'll see these characters inside the Soul Stone speaking to each other. And they're Gamora, T'Challa, like there's gonna be all of them, and they're probably gonna do a secondary thing that happens inside the stone that has to do with them either breaking out or being a part of the process.
I tell you what would be real cool if T'Challa is given a bigger role in 4 to maybe guide them, since he has experience communicating with souls and being in that realm. It'd be really cool if maybe he could play a role in guiding them through that soul stone um little mini world that they have inside, whatever.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Maybe that's what he does, or hey, maybe that's all second act when the Avengers plus Nebula figure out how to get them back, and then they get them back, and then
I
third
agree.
act is all of them fighting against Thanos
Yeah.
together one last time.
I think it's true because even the way they talked about it, like we're all saying, oh, they're dead, they're dead, they're dead. But even when Spider-Man was like, oh, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, he didn't say, I don't want to die. No one said, oh, they're dead. They said that they're gone. So
Right, they're
like,
just gone.
yeah, exactly. That's like careful choice of words. And, myself being the actor one, when you write a screenplay, it's like you choose words specifically. So like to me, it's
Right,
like you could say someone's gone. We're all gonna assume dead because we're all dramatic watching a movie.
right.
But that could just mean they're somewhere else. Their physical body on this plane disappeared, but they're all
Mhm.
stuck in that soul gem,
Yeah.
which somebody's gonna have to figure out. but like nobody knows the gems as well as that Warlock guy. So maybe
And
that's
then
where he's gonna come in.
maybe, but another thing that's interesting is that if Thanos went to the Soul Gem when he saw little baby Gamora,
Mm-hmm.
why was Gamora baby Gamora there? You get what I'm saying? Was she just always that little girl
Oh, like
because of
that's
what
her
he did to
purest
her?
soul or
Yeah, you know
something.
what I'm saying? Like that
because
was kind of
he's
confusing.
holding
Unless
the
that's just
stone.
him in his head.
Yes, it's his perspective because he has the stone.
Okay. Okay. But still, the like dead people were supposed to be in there too. So I don't know.
Choice,
I don't know.
cinematic choice.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
how they come back, I don't know. It might have a little bit to do with time and manipulation. I think at the end of the day, they're gonna have to kind of repair the gauntlet and use it against
Yeah.
Thanos. That
Yeah.
and the reason I say that is because they went out of their way to show that the gauntlet was kind of
It
crunchy
was
looking.
crunched up, yeah.
Yeah, it was crunchy looking, and they gave us that rule which stood out to me with the Soul Stone. To
Well,
achieve to obtain it. I don't
oh.
know if that also means to activate it, or maybe something happens where the stones are scattered again and then they have to be regathered. But the Soul Stone, in order to get it, it might
Mm,
have to be a sacrifice or some shit. I don't know. I think that's where we'll get like a really super important death
mm,
on the hero side.
yeah.
That it'll be what they need to use it back against Thanos to end
Right.
them, and then
Because the soul one is probably the one that's gonna have to bind it together, which means for you to get it, you gotta give up
something
something.
Word.
like
Okay.
yeah.
So before we go, I just want to say, uh, what is something that surprised you? You're like, what the hell? First
What the
off,
hell?
um, fucking Red Skull. What?
I knew
I
he was
outwardly
alive.
said, what?
Yeah, you
I
did.
risked being ejected from the Alamo Draft House. Everyone else like gasped, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was shocking to me. But like, I get it. Everybody's in the movie. They're just like throwing him out. You're like,
Mhm.
look, that
Yeah,
guy, he's still around.
yeah.
That was fine.
It's
And then
been
also like Hulk
so
not being
long.
able to be Hulk, like Banner not being able to. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, we're not gonna see Hulk in Infinity War?
Oh, you saw him. You saw him get washed.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Maytag.
That was also shocking. I was like, yo, what's going
Him
on?
getting washed was not shocking to me. Like,
Yeah, not at all. He's gonna get that work.
yeah, Thanos could fuck with him. Like, yeah.
And he's playing with him.
Oh
Ebony
yeah.
Maw is like, yo, let him have his fun.
He said, "Let him have his fun." Like, that shit was sparring for Thanos. Oh, real quick, not to go too far back. Captain Marvel, what she's gonna do? They're setting her up to be,
All right.
the strongest. She'll come. I think she'll come through. Um, I think like Ant-Man is gonna end. I think right before shit goes down or during, and then they'll help. And then Captain Marvel, I think same thing. She'll probably, for all we know, at the end of Captain Marvel, the movie, her solo movie, she gets here, and then Avengers 4 starts with her already being here, so we don't have to waste time with her fucking getting here. You know what I mean?
That's what I
Mm-hmm,
said,
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
dog. Same
maybe,
thing, bro.
maybe. I don't know. I
Nah,
don't
it's
fucking
gonna
know.
happen.
So
Same thing.
we'll see. But in terms of what surprised me, like really legit, I mean, I said T'Challa being part of that. When he went, I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!" That's when it hit me that I was like, "Oh, nobody's safe." And then
Yeah. All bets
specifically
are off.
when he went out, I was like, "Oh, they're going after the newbies."
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
like, because then by that point, I was like, "Oh, Aisha's right. Peter, he about to go." So, what surprised me most? What surprised me most? Besides that, I guess honestly, how good. Even for me, the CGI, there was a lot of it, but it was so good. Like, if one of my few complaints about Black Panther was that I felt in some areas the CG wasn't great, that's probably because that was B team. They definitely had a fucking squad on this shit because Thanos looked amazing, and the sets that they made looked really cool for me. So I guess I was surprised by how well that worked out, and it for me, if done poorly, it could have felt like too much. It could have been like 2.5 hours of Superman upper lip, and it definitely wasn't. It was
It's so true.
I was with it.
Not
It
only
was
was it
great.
not that, but it got the nut sack got referenced.
It did. Oh, and when he called him Squidward,
When he called me more Squidward, yeah.
that is so Iron Man, though. He always has.
Robert Downey Jr. That man is
What
too
didn't he call Hawkeye Legolas?
yeah.
Yes, he did.
His shit. He's always on, man. He's always.
That's the only white man I've ever seen do blackface, and still like I still respect him
He
afterwards.
still gets invited. He
I
still
know
gets invited to the
some people
cookout.
don't still respect him, but then they're like, "But I will keep watching your movies."
Antonio. His suit was so cool. The nanotech, the way they made it look on screen was so fucking cool. It was really cool. It was a lot of
Yo,
cool
when
shit.
when there was the nano was like moving around and then he made it into a knife and then like, oh my god, that was so. Those were the surprising things for me.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the surprising things for me, that it was like one thing and then the other, and then it was like boom, 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 and you're like, oh, it was really
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I don't know. I say this. I didn't expect them to end this movie with Thanos in farm mode, smiling at the sunset. Like
Yeah.
I did figure he was going to get some serious wins, but
Mm.
I didn't think they
This
would go that far to shove our face in this shit. And I love
the
that. I loved
balls on his chin and his word. That's all he got.
I
So
thought
he
he was
got
gonna turn
He
into dust. I thought that he was gonna sit there and be like, ah, and then and I was
he
like, how are
literally
we gonna
said
fix things if you turn to dust?
my man gets to cash in the 401k. He gets to retire.
He did. He was like, I did it.
He was sipping Mai Tais. Like
Man.
really got that.
he literally said, I'm gonna go on the hill and I'm gonna
Mhm.
chill and I'm gonna smile at the sunset.
He did,
End game.
and he did.
He
I
did.
love that.
Well, it's it's not
Hopefully we'll have the problem, the dilemma in a couple weeks of comparing what character was portrayed better by Josh Brolin, Cable or Thanos. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
they
if he
said
nails,
Thanos.
if he's able to nail Cable, who is a beloved comic book character from from the
Yeah.
'90s, if he's able to nail that character as well as they allowed him and were able to help him nail Thanos, then boy,
I mean, yeah, just he was really good. Just and even though he was CGI the whole time, like it was so him. His voice acting was
hmm
so good, and it's his body. They
so
probably did
good.
the whole dots thing, so he's
hmm
really on
Yeah,
sync.
they did. They did. He
Yeah,
said he was walking around butt ass in pajamas.
and yeah, doing it.
Him, Tom Holland, yeah, it was walking around butt ass.
But it was like the CGI was crazy on him. When they would get up close, I'm like, oh man, when did he shave last to get some stubble going? It was ridiculous. But yeah, I think they did a really great job. It was like surprising things you knew were gonna happen, but they were like, we know this is gonna happen, but I'm gonna show you in a way you never thought could happen. So
Word.
good luck predicting that.
This is a good way of putting that. That was a great way of putting that.
But all right, I'm gonna close this out. This is our special Infinity War. What did we call this episode?
Infinite spoiler.
Infinite Spoiler.
Spoiler
Spoiler
wars.
war.
Well, we might
Spoiler.
go watch the movie again tonight because my sister hasn't seen it. And
Yeah.
just for y'all out there listening, we're actually on vacation right now. And I can't have a whole vacation with my sister and not be able to talk about this. I can't handle that. My mom was like,
Mhm.
that's real. We need to do a debrief. That's how serious it is.
I didn't hear that last part, but I'll hear it in post.
Oh, here it said we need
Yeah.
to do a debrief.
Yeah.
But okay. Thanks everybody for listening. I know you're all sad right now, but I feel like
Yo,
it's gonna get better.
send me that info I need when you get a
Oh
chance,
yeah, I'm gonna do it now.
because the spots are limited.
Oh yeah, people. Oh wait, I guess that doesn't really work for our listeners.
Yeah. Don't say nothing.
Just
Shh.
kidding. Catch you next time.
Jokes.
jokes.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.